brothers, were our executive producers. And so a lot of the things that they went on to do, and they've said this too, a lot of the things that they went on to do in the Marvel films, they tested it out with us. You know, our paintball episode is a movie. It was shot like a movie. It was as expansive as a movie, and it was action and stunts and all of that. So I learned a lot, and am so blessed that I got to be around so many amazing people. Some of them at the very beginning of their career, like we were at the community table when Donald used the Wu-Tang generator to create the name Childish Gambino. We were all sitting at the table when he became Childish Gambino. So there's things like
Wow.
that that I will hold dear, you know, for the rest of my life. You know, Danny's kids were, you know, born during the run of Community. You know, we all, Joel's babies are grown, and we met them when they were like 1 and 3. So there's things like that that are very special to me. All of their spouses and boyfriends and girlfriends that they've had, we were there for all of that. So yeah. So
Where
his family is what I learned there.
it's family, where do you think Shirley Bennett is today? Where is
Oh
she?
gosh. I hope she's still married to that cutie pie, Malcolm Jamal Warner. I hope that they found their way back to each other, because I'd love to see Malcolm and Shirley together again, Andre and Shirley. Um, I don't know if she's still in the Bayou and still working with Steven Weber as a detective, or maybe she's back in Greendale. I really don't know. We have one script that we've read, and that's going to be changed around, but it's a fully formed script, and it's very funny, and it's a proper community uh episode stretched out. But I think it's going to change. So I don't know where she's going to ultimately end up. I'm excited to find out.
I mean, and is this going forward? Like, is Community going to be back in our lives? Yes.
Absolutely. The movie's happening. The only thing that messed us up, we had, you know, the strike kind of, everything got put on hold. And so a lot of projects that people, I don't know if people understand what a puzzle scheduling is for actors, especially actors that are working. And so a lot of people who are super successful have their year mapped out. I've got 3 months on this movie, then I'm going to stop and do this limited series for whatever. Then I've got this voiceover thing, then I'm going to go on tour, whatever their thing is. But it's all scheduled. And so once you have your slot, this from July to June, June to July, we're going to be doing this. If something happens that sucks up that month, the rest of the schedule has to continue. So you can't just take that month and push it to August. That it's lost time in the schedule. And so now we have to go back and get the map out and go, okay, this person's here, so and so. I mean, Allison was just in like Australia doing that film, that show with Annette Bening, you know. Donald's on tour. Like, how do we get it all together, you know? And it's
Not that
nobody's fault.
easy.
It's just that what happens when people are successful.
Absolutely. Well, that's good because I'm excited for
It's
that.
happening.
Good. I'm very happy. Well, listen, on The Masked Singer, you sang some Mary J. Blige. Like, what is in your, like, what's on your musical selection when you're not working?
Oh, I love some Layla Hathaway, Anita Baker. I still love anything Jackson's. I love the Jacksons so much, and may Tito rest in peace. We recently lost him. Um, I still love Whitney and Prince. Like, I'm a 70s, 80s girl. Like, I'm sad to say I don't know a lot of the new music, or if I know the song, I may not know who the performer is. With the exception of that sweet little Ariana Grande. I've known her since she was a little baby. Met her in our Nickelodeon days, and she's delightful, and I can't wait to see what she's going to do in Wicked with Cynthia Erivo, who I love as well. But most new music, I don't really know. I'm listening to Shalimar and El DeBarge and the OJs and some Stevie Wonder. I'm back there. I'm living back there in my formative years.
Well, you might see me back there because I say that all the time. Like, I love Miley Cyrus and I love Justin Timberlake. That's
Yeah,
about where it stops for me with new
yeah,
music. Prince is like a god. I've had
I
Tito
got it.
Jackson on this podcast. Like, I'm in the 80s myself.
Yeah,
So
I live there.
people say, name this song, and I'm like, I
And
can't. And this is
yeah,
like the biggest superstar right
can't
now.
do
I
it.
just can't.
And wish them well. Hope they are just thriving. The sweet little Taylor Swift gone girl and shine. But aside from the hits, yeah,
Same here.
yeah.
Same here. I agree. Well, look, you've done like now that you're on the Masked Singer, singing and acting, but also I watched the Jeff Probst show. So,
Oh,
I mean, from being on as a co-host, like what was that experience like for you?
oh, I love my propes. I just saw him recently. He and some of the producers from the show, they threw me and my fiance a beautiful engagement party. Um, he's great. I love Jeff, and I love hosting. And I'm a great sidekick. You know what I mean? I really do. I'm a good support person, and so I really enjoyed being able to support him on his show. And I think if I had come on the show a little earlier, I think we could have really had a nice long run of me and him just chopping it up every morning, talking about life. You know, it was a good time.
It was a good show. Listen, a talk show, the format today, I just think is really hard to. I mean, this
Yeah,
wasn't today, but it's just a hard
yeah.
format, I think, to get greenlit in today's
Yeah,
society.
I agree.
Is it hard as an actress? Because, like, again, like I loved Hot in Cleveland, you were on that, you appeared on Boston Legal. Like, is it hard as an actress? Like, you've done so many of these shows to come into like an established show where the cast is like in the groove. Like, is it just hard to come in as a guest star for an episode or two?
You know, it really all depends on it all begins at the head, right? The number one on the call sheet dictates how the experience will be for everyone. I did an episode of Frasier. It's going to be airing soon. I play Tokes' sister. Tokes, who's a series regular on there, has been talking about her sister Monica for the entire first season of the Frasier reboot, and we finally meet her in the second season. And you know, Kelsey Grammer could not be a nicer human being, which means everybody else on that set, they're all really nice people. And when you're working with nice people, they tell you where the bathroom is, they tell you where craft services is, they tell you the best place to get coffee near the studio. So you're not coming in feeling like a stranger. You're kind of walked through the experience. Now, I've been on a couple of sets where the person at the top is not very nice. And that means that you're fending for yourself and trying to figure it out. And maybe you'll find a friend, but everybody's in fight or flight because the top person is mean. And it's a different experience, you know, or you go on a set and they've been working together so long they don't like each other anymore, and so you're walking into like mom and dad are fighting. It's weird. So it all depends on the set that you're on. I will say, out of my 20 some years of being in this industry, I've had maybe two bad experiences with actors. Every other experience I've had has been lovely. So two old crabapple bad eggs is not bad. The percentage can't even be quantified.
That's really good.
Mhm.
And do you want to share who those actors are with us here today?
I will not, but they are people whose names I don't speak. So if you hear me ever speaking about certain people, there's certain people whose names I don't ever speak, and I talk about everyone lovingly. So if I have not said the name, you could probably figure out who they are. And
That is
also,
true.
I'm not alone in thinking they're not nice people. So
That is
that'll help you figure it out as well.
that is usually the case. I have my own guesses, and I was just joking. I didn't think you were going to reveal those, but you can't blame a girl for trying,
Yeah,
can
but
you?
you know, I'll say this too. The reason that I also don't speak their names is their shame is theirs. And I don't want to be tied to any nonsense or negativity. So I don't say their name because I don't want my name next to their name anywhere. I want to act like they don't exist. So that's why.
And if people really want to know that, they can just go listen to every interview you've done and bring out the Venn diagram and just good luck with that, right?
Absolutely.
Speaking of shows, I mean, you've spoken highly of this show before, but talk to me about like, I was a huge Friends fan. I mean,
Oh,
we lost Matthew Perry. I mean,
yeah.
The Odd Couple, like, what was that like working with Matthew
Oh
Perry?
gosh. You know, I was a really huge and still a huge Friends fan. I loved it and Living Single. I think they're both wonderful shows. So I was a big fan